I'm feeling a little heat, y'all. I saw something a little bit earlier that really blew my mind, and I had to turn on the camera and talk about it. So y'all know those videos where I go to the Instagram page and people give their random NBA opinions and I tell them if I agree or disagree or why. Well, the way I prepare for those videos is I go in advance and I pick out a few that I feel like are worth discussing. So before I started this video, I saw one that really grinded my gears. Because there's one specific word in the sports world, in the NBA dictionary, that I think is thrown around way too much. Now the post says, Otto Porter is a bust. The word that is thrown around way too often is bust. I think people don't really understand what the definition of bust is. Definition, we got to put in sports, because if we don't put in sports, y'all know we're going to get some weird stuff in sports. All right. A draft bust occurs when a highly touted or highly selected draftee does not meet expectations. This can be for a variety of reasons, but the most often noted are injury or inability to perform at a professional level. A player is also regarded as a larger bust if more successful players are drafted after him or her. All right, that is the official definition of a draft bust, and that's coming from Wikipedia, which, I mean, back in my day, my school teachers used to tell me don't use Wikipedia, but this ain't no scholarly stuff. We're really just talking about the definition of bust. Now, the reason this is even a conversation of Otto Porter is a bust is because if you don't know, Otto Porter, the 3rd overall pick in the 2013 NBA draft. So the mindset is, look, Otto Porter's a top 3 pick and he's never been an all-star, so he must be a bust. That is not the way it works. Every player that's drafted in the top 5 that doesn't turn out to be a star, that does not make them a bust. Because when the Washington Wizards drafted Otto Porter, they weren't thinking he was about to be the next LeBron. No, they drafted him to be that 3rd option. That's what they drafted him for. Guess what? If you ask me, Otto Porter is a pretty good 3rd option. He is a great D and 3 guy. So coming out of college, his NBA comparison was Tayshaun Prince, which if you ask me, makes a lot of sense. They're both very long and lengthy, good defenders, can knock down a shot. That is almost a spot on comparison. Now we know Tayshaun Prince was never a star. Would you say Otto Porter lives up to Tayshaun Prince? I would say so. So the definition is a player that does not meet his expectations. If his expectation was Tayshaun Prince, I think he's doing a very, very good job. Granted, Tayshaun Prince did make like some all-defensive teams here and there, but you get what I'm saying. Otto Porter is not a bust because he's not a star. Miss me with that. Now, if we go back and look at the draft class he was drafted in, there weren't many people drafted after him that turned out to be better than him. Cody Zeller? No. Alex Len? No. Nerlens Noel? The dude averaged 4 points a game last year. Ben McLemore? No, he's been here and there. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope? Nope. Trey Burke? Nope. CJ McCollum? You can argue that. Who's better, CJ McCollum or Otto Porter? That's arguable. And then you got Giannis down there, and then you also got Rudy Gobert. If 2.5 players drafted after you are better than you, that does not make you a bust. It just doesn't. So okay, enough of that rant. Let's go on to some of the other ones that we need our opinion on. Carmelo Anthony will work in Houston better than OKC because Chris Paul and James Harden are better distributors to Westbrook and Paul George. Now, I think that he will work better in Houston, but it has nothing to do with James Harden or it has nothing to do with Russell Westbrook from last year. Honestly, I think it boils down to coaching. You know me, I believe that coaching is such an important thing. Of course, it's the players that's making the shot. It's the players that's playing this defense. But the system you got these players in matters a lot. Billy Donovan did not have Melo doing much. Carmelo Anthony is a 6'8", 240-pound man. He is a very large man. But if you take a look at his stats, he very rarely set picks. We're talking on ball or off ball. You telling me that 6'8" beast, he can set a pretty hard pick, open up. There's so many different things you could do with Melo, and I just think in OKC, they didn't use him right. That has nothing to do with Russell. That has nothing to do with what James Harden is going to do. I just think that the coaching system, I think Mike D'Antoni is really going to make this work, at least better than OKC. I'm not saying Melo's going to go and average 20, because I don't think that's going to happen either, but I do think he will be a more impactful player in Houston than he was in OKC because of coaching and the schemes and the systems. All that matters to help Melo. The Lakers are better than every team in the Eastern Conference. Cannot agree with this. The Boston Celtics have a brick. That team is stacked. Super stacked. So no, I don't think that Lakers team is better than the Boston Celtics team at all. I would even argue that maybe the Toronto Raptors are better than that Celtics team. Hey, it's me. I'm editing this video. I did not just mean to say Celtics. I meant to say Lakers. Cut me some slack. It's always very late when I record these videos. So what I meant to say is I would argue that the Toronto Raptors are better than this year's Lakers. Not Celtics. Now, I know. LeBron destroys the Toronto Raptors. Have been doing it for years and years. But if we're talking just fresh on paper, Toronto Raptors roster versus the LA Lakers roster, I think I would take the Toronto Raptors roster. Granted, I need the Kawhi Leonard that we saw 2 years ago, the top 5 player in the league, the number 2 in MVP we saw, but I think those two would be better than the Lakers. Kyrie is overrated. I don't agree with this. And I can understand where this is coming from because his team just did such great things in the postseason without him. But that doesn't really make him overrated. If you ask me, he is an elite point guard in his league. If I'm ranking them, I got Steph Curry, Russell Westbrook. Then under that, I got like Damian Lillard, Kyrie, and John Wall tied. You know? I don't think he's overrated at all. The man has really clutch genes. Is a bucket getter. Like, he's one of the players in the league where you can pass on the ball, clear out, and he can score you at least 2 points, you know? So I wouldn't say he's overrated at all. The guy's a bucket getter. Steph Curry has not had a better career than Chris Paul. I don't understand this. 2 MVPs, 3 championships, and, well, he's like he gonna get more. Without a doubt, he's had a better career than Chris Paul. And y'all know Chris Paul is probably my favorite player of all time. But I gotta face facts. Stephen Curry has had a better career. You know, Chris Paul has been in situations where maybe injuries caught his team at the wrong time and he got injured like last year. But at the end of the day, if we're just taking their whole bodies of work, Steph Curry's bodies of work is way more impressive than Chris Paul's. Championship rings have lost some of their value due to the Golden State Warriors winning every year. I don't agree with this at all. I've always been in the mindset that the reason you play basketball, the reason you build a team is to win a championship. The Golden State Warriors play magnificent basketball. They built one of the biggest juggernauts in this sport's history. And y'all want to take their rings value away? No. They've done amazing. There were years where the Golden State Warriors were one of the most laughingstock organizations in the league. And they continue to fight. They drafted well. They convinced one of the best players of our generation to sign to them. And they continue to get better. You can't take away the value of their rings just because they make it look easy. No. That team, though, again, they make it look very easy. They play their heart out all 82. And then however many games it take them to win a championship. So, no, when we look back on the career, at least with me, when I look back on the career of Stephen Curry when he's all said and done, Klay Thompson and Draymond Green, I'm not going to say, well, that first ring counted, but everything else don't. No. Those players, blood, sweat, and tears, hard work, deserve those rings. And they have as much value as any other rings throughout history, if you ask me. I did read some of the comments. One guy says you have to rate it on a spectrum, saying that the 2011 championship that Dirk and the Dallas Mavericks won may be more valuable than last year's championship of the Golden State Warriors. And I kind of understand that argument, but for me, again, a ring is a ring. It's not like they're going against G League teams. It's not like they're going against high schoolers. They're still going against the best competition in the world. It's not their fault they have the best team in the world. So no, their championships have the same value as any other team to me. The Bucks will win the Central Division. So if you don't know who's in that division, of course, you got the Bucks, you have the Pacers, you have the Pistons, the Bulls, and the Cavs. Those are the 5 teams in the Central Division. So they're asking, will they have a better record, basically, than the Indiana Pacers? That's the only team that's really competed with them. You know, some of those other teams could make the playoffs, but those are the top 2 teams. And honestly, I would not be surprised if they did. Again, I've said it before, they got a new coach and one of the best coaches in the league. They got a new center on their squad that can stretch the floor and do everything except for defend and get rebounds. That don't sound too good, does it? A center that does everything except for defend and get rebounds. Like, that's what a center is for. Regardless, Brook Lopez is still a quality player. And they have a superstar. Not just an all-star. They have a superstar in Giannis. So I wouldn't be surprised. I will be rolling up to the new arena this year to watch them play a couple times. It's only like an hour and a half away from me, so we're going to be riding into it. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they made it work. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, please hit to leave it a like. In the comment section below, let me know what you think about this whole bust conversation, because it's one I've had with my co-host Through the Wire, and we all feel the same way, but I've never really had a conversation with somebody that threw that word around. It's just something I see online. I see in the comment section of these videos. I see on Instagram pages, on Twitter. The word bust is thrown around way too often. You gotta think about it. Last year, people were calling Lonzo a bust because in the first 3 months of his NBA career, he didn't shoot the ball well. You know, that just lets you know that the idea of a bust is just taken way too lightly. So I think we need to chill on that word. Let's try to use some other words. Let's broaden our vocabulary when it comes to stuff like this. That's how we're gonna do this video. Broaden the vocabulary and stop using the word bust unless it's like Anthony Bennett. Then like you can throw that mud like 100 yards, because that's something that needs to be said. But again, I'll see y'all tomorrow. Thank y'all. Peace.